Afternoon world from a very soaked and wet Queensland. It's rain stopped for the moment, but it's going to be back, and it's going to be back with a bit of a fury. So anyway, roll that intro.
Hi, Hippy Trev here, and welcome to my channel. Hope you get something out of it.
Righto, well, back by popular demand, cooking with Hippy Trev. This time we're not cooking with shitty old sheep, we're cooking with some nice steak. That's me green tree frog. He lives down there somewhere. He's a big ass green tree frog. I see him in the night time out there. Want to go cane toad hunting. I've got quite a few green tree frogs. So anyway, back by popular demand, cooking with Hippy Trev. Let's get it on. Rightio. First things first. Don't mind my grotty old stove. I did clean it recently, but I did clean it recently. You wouldn't think so, but anyway. So all right, let's get the fry pan lit up. Now we are using some Porterhouse steak from the local supermarket. When you get out of the, it doesn't smell quite right, but anyway, it'll have to do. These two Porterhouse steaks aren't very cheap at all. I think they're about $17 for those two out of the local supermarket. Now, because I wanted to cook all the way through, and I'm just going to get my heat right down here. So I'm just firstly, I'm just letting the pan warm up. Just put a couple of strikes through it. That way it helps the juices get in there. Himalayan rock salt. Pour that on. Heaps of Himalayan rock salt. Just chuck it all on there. Black pepper. So we've got roads cut at the moment up here on the way to Scarybarra, and at the moment I'm using some Hungarian sweet paprika. So give that a good. That tree frog's a noisy bugger tonight. I'm nearly out of this, so I'll just have to go back to my other, and then push that into the meat. Flip it over. Hit it again with heaps of salt. So that pan's just heating up there. It's got nothing in there at the moment. Oh, and put me little slices in there. It just helps the meat cook all the way through. Black pepper. This pepper container's not the best in the world, but anyway. Smother it with, well, yeah, I guess smother it. Bit of paprika. Sweet Hungarian paprika. This is a knife I scored from Jen's this is a knife I scored from Jen's Treasure at the second-hand shop. My God, it's the best knife I've ever had. Right, okay. Move you back. Let's throw some butter in the pan. I'm no longer doing oil with the butter. I just throw the butter in now. I don't bother putting the oil with it. It's nice and hot. So while that's doing that, so pick up all the salt and everything that's left on the chopping board. I think I've got the pan just a little bit too hot. I'm actually going to throw a little bit more butter in there. I'm going to throw a lot more butter in there. It's a little bit too hot. Left it too long, but anyway. I can probably dial that heat down just a little bit. There we go. Throw them in there. So yes, we've had a shitload of rain up here last 2 days. I think today we've had well over, and I think we've had close maybe 2 inches of rain up here today. Everything's soggy out the back, everything's damp. So the lawn's just going to go absolutely mental. So, right, we're just going to let that fry away. That's going to take a little while to do its thing. Rotate the old pan. This just makes the meat taste so much better, and I do like the Hungarian paprika, and of course you always put a bit of salt and pepper on your meat. You've got to put that into it, and this is fairly good cuts of meat. I've been using a fair bit of I think it's rump. So I've been using a fair bit of this stuff for rump steak, but I had Joe over last night, so I cooked her a couple of nice porterhouses. 16 bucks for just shitty old rump steak, and they're not overly big, so there's $16 for those two pieces. They were like, those two small pieces of porterhouse, I think they were like $17. And if you want to get into really good cuts of meat, they've got small round ones of, I'm not sure, oyster and stuff like that. But for two small round ones of oyster about that big, $22. I miss our local butchery that we had here. I'm just going to turn the heat up now. I miss the local butcher that we had. And like I said, our local supermarket bought the butchers out, shut it down, and now they have the monopoly on everything. And that really sucks. So yes, anyway, cooking with Hippy Trev back by popular demand. I never expected this to even take off as any sort of anything actually. As I was saying, the first one I put out was when I was prepping the shitty old bloody sirloin chop. So the first one I put out was when I was prepping the shitty old sheep sirloin chops in mustard sauce. And then I put the next one out where I actually cooked it. And you guys out there seem to like it. So, and I've had a few people ask me a few times. See, I've been cooking myself for quite a while now. Like most nights I cook. And I sort of consider this to be kind of too boring for anyone to want to watch me cook. And then my old tenant Joe was up and I cooked her for tea last night and I showed her a couple of things. She said, yeah, do it, do another one. So, okay, we're doing another one. Whether it works or it doesn't, that's up to you guys. Probably got a little bit too much heat in that. So I like it. I'm sort of getting to the point where I don't mind a little bit of pink in the middle. I used to like them cooked all the way through, burnt out on the crispy on the outside and so forth. But I don't mind a little bit of pink in the middle, pink in the middle, and I also rest my meat on the chopping board for a good 10 minutes or so. I've learned that by watching. Gordon Ramsay and Kitchen Nightmares. I absolutely love that show. I wish there was more of it on Netflix. Oh, sorry, on YouTube. I watched all the Kitchen Nightmares. I thought it was a great show. All right, it's getting a little bit smoky now, so put them over. Now they're nowhere near cooked enough through, but I want to start cooking on this side. I can tell already it's hardly got anything cooked through it, so we'll just let that simmer there. Now I normally do a salad with it all. Although I don't have tomato or anything, so like I said, that's just going to slowly cook away there. I'll leave my butter out just in case I need to throw a little bit more butter in later. Like I said, this knife I got from Jen's Treasures, when I picked it up I knew straight it was a great knife, and I also picked up this beautiful old steel, and this just keeps this knife super sharp. I don't use anything else now. This is the only knife I use for absolutely everything. Tomatoes. I use it as a steak knife when I'm eating my steak that I've just cooked. This is the best knife. That is the best knife I've ever actually owned, ever. It's just a great bloody knife. It's fantastic. All right, we'll just move them around a little bit. I might turn the heat down now just a little bit, just so it'll start cooking through. And while it's doing that, I'll only get my salad and shit out. Now, there's another thing I'm doing, which I'll get to in a minute too. I really need more lettuce, but anyway. So I'm getting all my salad and shit out. I'm getting into hummus, and this one's got chili, like peppers in it. I'll show you what I do with that. So you can probably see that while that's cooking there nicely. Lettuce is just starting to be almost out of date, but I'll get a last feed out of it. Throw a heap of lettuce on the plate, break it all up like so. Actually, the rest of that can go to the chooks. Oh, a chook. I don't have chooks, I've only got a chook. The little silkies, he's mad as a cut snake. Got to have your olives. Heap of olives. Oh, maybe some more. There we go. tend to put things back in the fridge straight after you use them. Root beet. I love me root beet. Absolutely love this stuff. I need another tin. And I just chuck some on the floor. You can also go out to the chook. So a bit of root beet there. And then you go and get another tin. So I just keep chucking it in the fridge as I use it. Some cheese. Where's my butter knife there? I know it's shitty single slice cheese, but I can't afford to buy like a kilo of the cheese I like, which is extra strong and bitey, whatever it's called. I think it's up to $17 a kilo now here in town for a block of cheese. So unfortunately, I just buy the slices. Break that up. And I love these things, pickled onions. Another teaspoon for that. Right, or a fork. Yeah, pickled onions. And my friend Michaela, she grows all her own veggies and stuff. I wash the jars out, and when I've finished, I drop them on her doorstep so she can use them to pickle. She made me some hummus or something a little while ago. I can't remember what it was exactly. It was so nice. And I think, oh well, I'll just save all the jars for it. There we go. Right, chuck them in the fridge. Quick check on this. Quick check on the meat. Not doing too bad. Right, I'm going to roll. I know they reckon you only turn steak once, but I'm going to turn it a second time. I'm just going to let that cook through. Now, getting back to the salad, so I get me hummus, and this is like really hot. This is bloody good spicy hummus. I'm going to smear that over my lettuce. Smear it over my beetroot. I'm missing tomato. I've got no tomato, and I've got no mushrooms. The last time I bought mushrooms out of the bloody supermarket, they were like really, they were sticky to touch. I didn't like them. So no mushrooms of late, and I don't have any tomato, which is also missing off the plate. So yeah, and then I just spread that hummus. Well, that's hot, bitey, all over all my salad, and it makes it just taste real good. Rightio, so while that's doing that, cooking on that same side again, I'm going to flip that again, even though you're not supposed to. Turn up the heat, and where's my knife? Where is my knife? I've lost my knife. There it is. I want to have a look and see how cooked through the inside of the meat is. So that's still very, very pink. Yes, that's way too pink, so that's going to need a lot more doing. So we're just going to turn the heat up. It's going to need to be fried off a hell of a lot more. Well, that's just cooking there. Quickly check my internet. That's interesting. Something going on there. Oh shit, I'm not paying enough attention. Turn it down. I've got a couple of wankers on my channel giving me a bit of grief. And you know they're wankers because they're getting on there and talking shit about me or crapping on anyone who leaves me a comment. And you go and check on their name. They've only joined YouTube today, and they're just trolling me and scrolling me and being absolute fucking wankers. Tell me about what did it say? Where was it? Someone called Mickey, I've never heard of before. Would you stop annoying me, Wartie? Now, so I don't know. So I don't know what's going on between Wartie and Mickey, and they kept saying stop annoying me, but I went and checked their profile, and they only joined YouTube today. So I've got a couple of arseholes trolling my channel at the moment, leaving some pretty fucked up comments. I just report and delete them now. I don't even leave them on there. There's no point leaving them there. But they've been absolute wankers, and now they're starting to pick on my mates and my scribers and cause me a whole heap of grief. So I don't know what water I said or did. Maybe you caught them on one of my other videos and basically told them to piss off or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I'm getting seriously trolled at the moment. One was what was his name? Something Smith, John Smith, and then I think he must have been his wanky girlfriend or his missus got on board and had a go at me, and her name was Jane Smithers, and they were having a go about some bullshit. So someone said, you know, I delete certain comments. You know, when people start being a wanker on my channel, they start criticising other people, like what that Jane Smithers had to go, or no, that John Smith had to go at someone and said, oh, you can't even effing spell, mate. Like, well, fuck off, mate. You know, go and troll some other channel. He typed everything in capitals, and I said, yeah, well, don't shout, you know, because if you type in capitals, it's kind of like shouting. And they just hoed in on him. And there's other Jane Smithers or whatever your fucking dumb name is, bitch. Started having a go at me, saying I've never worked a day in my life, and you know, did I ever go to school and so forth. So yeah, fuck you, you're right, you're out of my channel. So you're not going to ruin my channel with your bullshit. All right, we're going to call that cooked. We're actually going to call that somewhat burnt. We're going to call that slightly overcooked. So that goes on the chopping board. Then I pour the juices over it. And like someone said when I was washing the pan the other day, oh, you just washed away all the best part. Well, if I had mushrooms here, I would have been throwing the mushrooms in the pan and cooking them. Dishwashing liquid. I like to get my pan all cleaned up straight away. It's a non-stick pan, but it's slowly losing its non-stick. Give it a wipe down with my rag, bit like you do with a wok. Pan on the stove, that's where you go. Anytime I can cook on that. So, rightio. I need to let that meat rest for quite a few minutes. I suppose I can cut it open and have a bit of a look inside, but I like to rest it. And I don't mind it having been a little bit pink in the middle now, and it just makes it so tender and juicy and nice. I'll just cut off the end here. Yes, that's. Oh, that is delicious. Absolutely delicious. All right, that needs to rest. It's a little bit pink. It's a little bit pink, but if you let it rest on the plate, it does tend to cook itself through a lot more. So that can just sit there for the next 5 minutes. Oh, that's so good. So like I said, I'm going to let it sit there for 5 minutes. Oh, that tastes so good. Like I said, I'm going to let that sit there for 5 minutes and let it just finish doing what it has to do. I'm going to clean up and get ready to have tea. So anyway, worlds, that's another little cooking with Hippy Trev. Hope you enjoyed that. Lots of Himalayan salt, black pepper and paprika, even hot and smoky paprika. I use that as well. That tree frog certainly goes off his nut. And sometimes I even put chilies on there and everything on the meat. But yeah, rock salt, Himalayan rock salt, black pepper, and then paprika or whatever other things you like to sprinkle over the top of it, and it just makes the meat taste so good, and just cook straight in butter and nothing else. So anyway, worlds, yeah, like I said, back by popular demand, another Cooking with Hippy Trev. Hope you all enjoyed that, and you all have a great night and a great week. And anyway, stay safe, keep your knees in the breeze, and we'll catch you later. Bye.